Hello everyone, thank you very much for attending my talk. I'll be talking about my work on Saudi Arabian parents' perception of marital matchmaking technologies, which was done with my collaborators from Minnesota and Saudi Arabia. When the concept of marriage comes to mind in the Eastern context, arranged marriages are what come to mind. And it's usually considered not an ideal situation. But in reality, Saudi young adults do want their parents to be involved in the process. In our work, we aim to answer two research questions. The first one is, what concerns and views do Saudi Arabian parents have about marital matchmaking technologies? And the second one is, what's an effective role that Saudi Arabian parents can play when marital matchmaking technologies are utilized by their young adults? We conducted a qualitative interview study involving 16 Saudi Arabian parents. They were recruited through Twitter, which is widely used in Saudi Arabia, and through snowball sampling to reach more participants. We transcribed and open-coded our interviews, and then we used an affinity diagram to generate thematic clusters. Those clusters generated three major themes for our results. The first one is parents wanting to preserve their religious and cultural values when utilizing technology for marriage. And the second one is parents being concerned that their young adults are not mature enough to make their own decisions. And then lastly is the parents are concerned about the dangers and risks of technology. So for the first part, this quote generally summarizes the opinion of the parents, which they basically say is they do realize that things have changed recently and technology could be useful for marriage. But they do emphasize that it's really important that their cultural and religious values are not compromised in the process. In the second part, parents do realize that it is really possible that in the future young adults will utilize technology to meet their potential spouses, but what's most important to them is that their young adults are mature enough to make the proper decision to transition the relationship into a marriage, which they believe is the proper way to handle it. Lastly, parents realize that technology does have dangers and risks, but they believe there is a way to utilize technology that is effective and safe. It just needs some time for society to realize how to make use of technology appropriately. In our discussion, we talk about how being culturally and religiously inclusive in our community is important, especially for cultures and religions that are not necessarily considered mainstream. Also, we believe that in certain cases involving multiple stakeholders is needed, even though marriage and dating is generally considered an individualistic endeavor in maybe the Western context. In certain contexts, it is important that multiple stakeholders are involved in the process. In addition, regulating technology is a concern overall, but in our case, our participants believed that they had to regulate technology in specific ways that are aligned with their values. Lastly, we talk about the concept of pluralism, which is one of the core qualities of HCI feminism, which basically highlights that universalism is a flawed concept and it can't contain all the varied contexts that people have. In conclusion, we believe that Saudi Arabian parents uh, do believe in using technology, but their only concern is preserving their cultural and religious values in the process. And they do believe that technology and the traditional process can coexist and complement each other. And lastly, they believe that the risks and harms of technology could be minimized through regulating it. Thank you very much, and I would be happy to have some questions.